Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss on ES6 features. So in the interview questions, they will ask us to describe some of the ES6 features. So how you can explain and what all interview questions can be asked from that. So I will be discussing them with you. So today we are going to discuss on the let and const variables. So that is the a new feature which came up with the ES6. So previously we were using var variables and now we are using let and const. So what is the difference between them and what are the usage of them? So that's what we are going to discuss today. So the first thing regarding hoisting. So hoisting, what is hoisting means? It can be defined as moving of variable declarations to the top of their scope. So in JavaScript, as we know, we can actually use the variable names before it's even being declared. So that is a unless like Java and all. So in JavaScript, we can use variables before it is being declared. So how it is being done? So that is through this hoisting. So hoisting is nothing but it is the way of it's a mechanism where the variable declarations are moved to the top of the scope. So we are having var variables, let variables, and const variables. So how it actually differs? So in var variables, they are actually hoisted and initialized with undefined. So the value, if we are not defining anything, the system will automatically declare initialize it with the undefined value. And for the let and const, it is also actually hoisted. That means the variables are moved to the top of the scope, but not actually initialized with any values. So they will not be initialized with a value like undefined or something. So as a for the working example, so the first case, like for the var variable, I'm having a function display. So here I'm actually actually outputting the value of flag even before it's being declared. So the third line actually shows that the var variable is being declared, and but before that itself, I'm consoling out console.log statement of flag. So what it will be having as the output? So it will be having the output will be undefined because the var variable is hoisted. Also it is actually holding the value, it is actually initialized with undefined value. So that's why this output is given. Now suppose like the other scenario, like I'm having a function display, and again I'm having the console.log statement of flag, and here but I'm actually initializing it with the true value. So what will be the output? So here it will be, and just run this. So here if we run it, it is also undefined. So if you have guessed it as undefined, then you're right, because even though it is initialized with true value, but whenever the variable is getting hoisted, that is whenever it's moving towards the top, just the variable declaration is moving to the top, but the value initialization is not moved. So that's why here the thing is that when the compiler sees this, the variable flag is being declared, and it is defined with undefined, and then this console.log statement is run, and then this flag equals to true will be assigned. So here also the value will be undefined. So that is the case for the var variables. Now let's go through the let and const variable. So the same example I have taken using let. So here I am using this console.log statement of flag, and then I am declaring this let flag. So here the variable will be hoisted, but a reference error will be thrown. Says that cannot access flag before initialization. So we cannot actually use this variable. So the reference error will be thrown for let as well as for the const. So here for the const also the same. And here the error will be a little different, like missing initializer in the const declaration. That means I will be explaining it in the later part. It is nothing but that the constant variable, whenever it's being declared, it needs to be initialized as well. I will be explaining it to you further in the next coming sessions. So that was all about the hoisting. So now let's move on to the next one, the scope. So the scope is like how on which area the on which scope the variable will be accessible. The value of the variable can be used in which sort of which extent of area. So that is what is the scope means. So for the var variable, it is function scope variable, and let and cause they are block scope variable. Block scope means anything coming between the curly braces. So here for the var it is function scope variable. So any like any if statement, for loop, any loops, it will be having the throughout for the entire function the value of this var variable will be available. But for the let and const, it will be only available only for that certain block. If there is a if block where this variable is declared, then it only will be available for that if block. So that is all about the scope of this let constant var. So for that example, so here I'm just bringing out a sum, a problem of finding sum. So here I have declared a variable for var a equals to 5 and var b equals to 10. So if true, so this is like a block, right? So if block is written and where sum is declared and it is assigned with a plus b, so I am actually outputting the value of sum. And again, after coming from the loop, I'm again consoling the output. So how it will be working? Since it is a var variable, it is a function scope. So for this entire function, this sum, the variable sum will be available. So here we will not find any issues with outputting this value. So that's why even in the inside of the loop and in the outside of the loop, it will be the same 15. The output will be the same. Now next coming to the let variable. So here we have the same statements, but everything declared with let. So if we find like let sum equals to a plus b, and we know that it is a block statement, so this sum will be only available within this if block. So the sum here it will be outputting as 15. Sum inside if loop is 15. But when it comes out of the loop, the sum is actually not available because that is a let variable and it is available only in the if loop. So a reference error will be thrown like some variable is not defined. So that's why we can't output the value of sum over there. So it will be available only inside the if loop. Again, the same goes for the const. Here also the same procedure, like the const is being defined with a plus b and it is the outputting at the inside loop. But outside loop, it's not actually printing the value because the system can't find the some variable being declared because it was declared inside the if loop. So that was all about the scope of the variable. Now the next thing which we can further discuss is for the interviews we can be asked like, then what is the actual differences between this var, let and const. So we can explain this hoisting concept, the scope concept, also the usage as well. So all together we can give it like, for the var it is function scope and hoisted and initialized with undefined. For the let, it is block scope, hoisted but not initialized with any value, and can be reassigned with another value. Means whenever we are having a variable which will keep on changing its value for some counter variables, and suppose, so it will it can be reassigned and it can change value over the time, right? So for those cases we use let variables. The const is like we it is first once initialized, it cannot be changed. So that is the difference between let and const. So the const is also the block scope, hoisted but not initialized with any value, cannot be reassigned with another value. So that is all about the differences between them. So if we check for them, I'm having a variable let y and constant x. So when we actually give this statement for let y, it's all fine. But for the constant, it is like whenever we are, as previously I have mentioned, whenever we are declaring a variable as constant, we need to be initialized it with some value. So that is why this error gets thrown. For let y, there is no error, but for the second line, there is the error for missing initializer in constant declaration. So some of the things are there which we need to focus for the const variables. So const variables is like reassignment is not possible. So as per its definition, reassignment is not possible. So so the first thing is like when we declare a variable as const, we have to initialize it with value. Otherwise, this error will be thrown, which we have seen just now. Then the next thing is, if we don't if we try to reassign the const variable, then type error will be shoot out. Select type error assignment to the constant variable. So this is the error which we get if we try to reassign. So if we suppose, if we see the same example which we have shown above, sum equals to sum plus 100. We are just adding 100 to it. So here the case will be like, for the first one it prints everything fine, sum will be 15, everything will be displayed. But for the next statement, sum equals to sum plus 100, the type error will be thrown. Assignment to the constant variable. So we cannot reassign for the constant variables. Again, for the interviews and all, they will keep on asking about this concept behind the constant variable. So in objects like array object and all, actually we can access the property of the object and we can reassign the value of it. So whether it can be reassigned or not for a constant object or array will be the question. So the answer is yes. It is actually, when we are adding to a constant array or constant object, we are not reassigning or redeclaring the constant. The entire object, the entire array, we cannot reassign. So that is there. But we can actually access one of its property and we can reassign it, because the pointer is not pointing to the entire array. It is just pointing to an element. So it is fine with that. So it is already declared and assigned. We are just adding to the list that that constant points to. So if the entire array or the entire object is getting reassigned, that is not possible for the const case. So for the example for that, here I'm having an object constant x equals to an object, an empty object. Here I'm accessing one of its property, x dot a. So a is the property and I'm assigning a value of height and I'm consoling it. So here no issues come, and if we are see if we can see the output, the value is there. Again we are accessing the a property and we are reassigning it with hello. Here also no problem, because the entire object is x and we are not actually reassigning the entire object. So this is fine as per the const. But if we try to do this like this sort, constant x equals to a null object, so that is already defined. Now we are going to reassign with a property and a value. X equals to a as height. So here the error will be thrown, because the SRE assignment is not possible for the const object. So this is a slight difference which we need to focus on, and in interviews also it will be asked, like whether the properties of the const objects will be accessible and whether reassignment is possible or not. So the answer is yes, because it is not pointing to the entire object. We are just accessing its one of its property. So the entire object like changing like this is not possible as per the constant. So this is all about the let constant var. So in the next video we will come up with the other ES6 feature. So thank you all for the who have subscribed my channel. Please, the others, please do subscribe my channel for more videos. I will be uploading them on a time basis for the other concept, and for the coding questions also. I will be trying to give a VS Code or JS Bin snapshots. So please do subscribe my channel for further videos, and thank you all for all the comments, and please. Even you can also please provide the comments for which you are looking for the other videos. I'm trying to do it, but meanwhile a little bit busy deliverables are there, so that's why a little delay got. So please do subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you.